Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Audio all right? Yes. Looks like it's good. Hi Chinchua, how's it going? Hi Jenna. Yeah, they came out good. You know what? Did I say who took those photos? That was my beloved other half. Sharon took them. And she didn't shout at me once in that photo shoot, which was amazing. So this is part of guitar playing. Anybody who's on here for the first time wondering what I'm doing with a water bottle, very good. The hot water bottle's really good. Yeah, I mean, she went, believe it or not, right, my missus has, when it comes to university, I mean, she's a professor now, like I have 2 MAs, I've got 2 masters, she's got 4. Unbelievable, isn't it? For photography, or, no, what's it, photography, curating, tourism and culture, and 1 in education. So we used the photographic one. So, I mean, she's technically, like, the cameras and stuff, she's not very good at, but she's very good at composing a scene, should we say. Yeah, so the hot water bottle's really good, especially when you're doing a live thing, because what can happen, I do this all the time on Thomas's thing, is you start playing your guitar, and then if you start playing crap before you're about to do a performance, you start wondering if you're actually up to the job or not. So just by using a hot water bottle avoids that, doesn't it? And then you just jump in blind like this. So I organised everything except warm my hands up and tuning the guitar, but everything else seems to be organised, touch wood. So, still loving the Strandberg. What a good move this was, I must admit. What else have I been doing? So yes, Kurt, good move with the hot water bottle. You're in the hot water bottle club now. So today, yesterday I then, it looks crap though on the camera though, it just ruins the whole scene, doesn't it? I need a hot water bottle holder there. So yesterday I just did a little bit of tweaking on the live set and just fully integrated the Harmony plugin. Harmony plugin's absolutely amazing. It's by Polychrome. And now what I've got is I've got it tuned to thirds, both left and right. So when you hear it, you're going to hear 2 lots of thirds panned hard left and hard right. Going through 2 separate amps. So there's actually, when I kick in the harmony, there's actually 3 amps on the go. So that gives you a nice little stereo spread, because obviously the amps aren't totally firing off at the same time with exactly the same frequency responses. So you do get a nice subtle wideness. I think they call it fake mono, but it works for now. And then I just programmed all the different keys in on Ableton, so I can just quickly so the way it works is, right, this is in D minor. Hopefully it'll work. That's the D minor button, and that should change it to D minor. There we go, we're in D minor. Alright, let's see what happens. Well, 4 months for Donald's membership. Congratulations. I've run out of ideas. I'll tell you what it is. My hands are really grippy today. It's the strings, isn't it, and the weather. Let's see if this helps. Because that's really hard playing like that. Grippy hands. Thomas did say on the live, have you got corded strings on? No, I haven't, was the answer. And then maybe you should think about doing it. And sure enough, grippiness. So maybe that hand gel sorted it. Right. Will this help? Live cleaning of the guitar. What do you think? Maybe that might help. So yes, congratulations, Donald, on your 4 months membership, and that's amazing. Thank you, Galactic. I'm now, well, you'll have heard, I'm now a Strandberg artist. I left keys on the 15th of February, and then I signed immediately, literally the day that contract ended, the 16th. I was a Strandberg artist. It's amazing. It's English. I'm from the north of England, so it's not totally Queen's English, but it's English. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please do like. Let's have some more likes, because I never, I've got to keep asking, haven't I, to like me. Subscribe, boom. Subscribing is very important. Keeps everything going, and if you want to really support this channel and help, please do become a member. Now, I know I haven't been streaming all the time every week, but I've been busy working on a few things. Audio to the eyeballs, I'm very good. Almost 5,000 subs, yeah. Wow. I'll tell you what, it was so this time last year, as I review the year, my missus had that accident in May, sort of mid-May, and we're in the hospital phase, where I was streaming all the time on my phone, when you could use a phone to stream with. Now you can't use a phone to stream with, because they don't give you that option for to actually capture the background as well as the foreground now. That's muted off on YouTube, and there is no workaround. So any guitar questions? Does anybody, I'm happy to do a quick lesson at any point. There is no headstock. I should perhaps get more of the guitar in here. I don't think I'm lined up good enough. Let's try that. That's a bit better. A little bit better, isn't it? So this is a Strandberg guitar, really like Strandberg. They're really very good. Midnight Jam 2 Fusion Rock. Well, it's in the same key. Should we do a bit more in D minor? Oh, there's Enzo. Hi, Enzo. I'll do that again. Hey, thanks, Jenna. Unwaged Father, Chad Smith was my board, and Emma and Batman. And thank you, Jenna. Jenna is the patron saint of this channel. Alright, I tell you what, the weather today, I'm sticking to these strings like you wouldn't believe. Tell you what. Right, I've just realised something. We're a MIDI command missing. Right, let's try now. Okay, good. Now what happens? Change key. That works. Change key. Right, that works for all of them. Right. Did Chili get a new guitar? I don't know. Did Chili get a new guitar? I haven't heard anything. But then I don't really go on the forum much on Discord, so yeah, it's pretty cool. That reminds me of Go Off, Cacophony. You know the beginning of Go Off, can you remember that? No, that not. Alright, good night Galactic, sleep tight. But I wonder if they used a harmonizer. Tell you what, Enzo, I'm sticking to these strings. What happens when you stick to strings like this in the weather? Apart from changing them, what do you do? Been trying to get into some 4 note per string sort of stuff. A bit better. Right. Oh, hi Omar, how are you doing? And that reminds me, please do like and subscribe. I'm going to keep going with these synthwave tracks because I do like them. F minor. Have I got F minor on the harmonizer? Let's have a look. Oh, this is dramatic, isn't it? Saxophone thing, I'm not keen on that. Well, anyway, let's progress. Roller skating music. I used to go to the ice rink when I was little. What's the vocals? Blues of a harmonised song. Arch access. Hi, yes, I'm back. I never really went away. I just took a little break. But the harmonizer's working well. So Crownson, please do like the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. So the amp I'm using is Polychrome DSP, and this is Nunchuck, which is my favourite one. I really like it. It's a real versatile tool. It's excellent. Thank you, Jenna. Oh look, I got the emojis through. Yeah, Ecamm supports the emojis. That's really, it's made my day. Like the superhero and the little round green thing. Very nice. Oh, there's Freakstar. Hello, Freakstar. Now, Freakstar is... That's who took the photo for the thumbnail. In other words, it's the girlfriend. So I have to be on best behaviour now. Hi Doc McKay, how you doing? Alright then, so see you. Sticking to these strings. Ah, what's this? Right, hands are getting tired. Okay, where are we up to, guys? Doc McKay, thank you, make it look so easy. I'm struggling at the minute. So, if you're on here for the first time, please do like, please do subscribe. Also, I'm a trained music coach, very important, and sometimes I forget to promote the business. So I do have a coaching group which is running every Monday night at the minute. There's a couple of free spaces, so if anybody would like to join, please message me. The coaching group is specifically for people who want to make their own music. You know, you're set up, you've got Ableton Live, Cubase. It doesn't matter what DAW you're using, and it doesn't matter really what kind of, as long as you've made a track on the DAW, that's fine, and you know how to kind of get around it. That's about as much experience you need. But if you're wanting to be prolific, you're wanting to write lots of music, and you're wanting to connect to the world, this is the program for you, because I will do the walk with you, and you'll have a roadmap to make music forever and not be completely stressed out and worried about the future, right? So put it that way. So most of the pain, not all the pain, has been removed, or at least the unnecessary pain has been removed from the process of creativity, leaving you with enjoyment, fulfillment, and being able to produce music in less time. I mean, that's what it's about. Everybody's busy, aren't they? We're all working, we're all slaving away, and you know, there's not time, I understand, for us to do what we want all the time. So making music in less time fits perfectly, doesn't it? So this would be perfect for that person who wants to do that. Because that's the thing. I mean, we sit here, and at the end of the day, we've all got a voice, you know. And part of my coaching manifesto, I suppose, is that, you know, you're already capable of making great music, and you're already capable of making music as good as anybody else, like an A-lister. It's just finding, what it's down to is just finding your unique voice and framing you in the right way. That's what being an artist's been about. It's not being technically amazing, you know. It's about having something that captures the imagination of the public, that kind of represents you, that's your, you know, that's you, so you can keep kind of putting that out, because the only person that is unique is ourselves, isn't it? There's only one version of us, and really we should be making music that reflects on that. That way, because of that, you're the only provider of what you can do. You can only do what you're doing. Other people can only do crap versions of it. So, you know, your audience has to come to you, and this is what I specialise in doing, encouraging people to do that. So Kurt says, my job definitely interrupts my practice time, but I'm focused on having so much more fun thanks to you. Yes, and of course it depends on putting my coaching head on here, Kurt, as we're talking about practice. What I would say is, unless your job's running at random times, you want to have a practice session that can happen at the same time, bulletproof. Now, for me, if there's anything important I want to do, so when I was releasing a lot of music, what I would do is I would always get up in the morning and I'd be in the studio for 5:30 in the morning. I know that's early, but actually the logic of that is, what I did is I transplanted the end of the day to the beginning of the day, and the reason for that is you have more attention span. And I can tell you this now, when I get up in the morning, as soon as I get up, I pick a guitar up and I start playing, and it's the time when, yes, I'm practicing, but I also start connecting patterns and shapes in a way that I wouldn't normally stumble upon later on in the day. So Kurt, what you need is what's called a minimum viable commitment. Imagine, right, heaven forbid, that music was keeping you alive, right? You know, how much time could you give music every day to stay alive, right? So that's your minimum viable commitment, and that's what you want to aim for. But the thing is, right, if you put your minimum viable commitment at just random parts of the day, inevitably you're at risk of missing something. So what you want to do is you need to make a habit, okay, a permanent habit. So a habit relies on a trigger, and so there's a start, which is a trigger, and an end point. So for me, if you take my my routine is to get up in the morning, okay, that's the trigger, because I do that every morning, and then the next thing I do is pick the guitar up and play. I usually do that before anything else, even brushing my teeth, sometimes even before going to the toilet. I'm just so excited to get and play that I'll do that, and I'll just sit there and play, and that is how I do it, and then at the end of that session I'll do something nice, which is usually having a cup of coffee and sitting with my other half, you know, in the sunshine. So that works really, really well. Same for music making, you know, minimum viable commitment, whatever time that is, and I'll tell you what mine's been in the past. Is that if you were to make music, then you just want to have like maybe 45, what I recommend is 45 minutes per day. So 45 minutes at the beginning of your day, because nobody's going to bother you then, you see, that's why you do it, and that's where you do your heavy lift. The problem is when you do these sessions after work, you come in, you're tired, you think about eating, then you eat, and then you, like, you know, you might put the television on and you start watching something, and then the procrastination kicks in and you don't get rounded to it, and then it's this vicious cycle of never getting to that thing. So the morning thing is a definite way forward, and then to build that bulletproof habit. Yeah, so you just need 1 point. I mean, apart from that, you just, you know, apart from that one minimum viable commitment and core session that's going to happen at the same time, you know, you can just pick the guitar up or do whatever you do whenever you want. It's just that's where the important heavy lift of your music development is going to happen. So minimum viable commitment. So when I was coached on this, my coach, Mike Monday, said to me, all right, well, how much, as if your life depends on it, how much time can you give music every day? I went, 2 to 3 hours, right? And you went, really, you can do that every day, can you, till the day you die? Yep, no bother, Mike, I can do that. You know, because I was fired up with enthusiasm. I'd had a few releases under my belt, and sure enough, the week went, and I don't think I hit any of my 3-hour targets. It was a complete disaster. Came back to me and went, reduce it, and then I reduced it to half an hour, and he went, you know, that's more realistic. Missed a couple of half-an-hour ones, so that wasn't any good, and then it dropped down to 15 minutes, and 15 minutes was my first minimum viable commitment. Now, what's important about that is you would think, well, I've only got 15 minutes. That's not enough time to do anything. If you plan for 15 minutes, there's enough time to do a lot of work in 15 minutes. I can kind of start a track and finish a track idea, main theme, done, easy in 15 minutes. Not a problem. But the point being is usually we'll have more time than that. So if you get past your 15 minutes and you feel like continuing, you can continue. But the thing about that minimum viable commitment being low, it busts the myth of I need hours to do anything. Yeah, so that's what's important about it. So yes, minimum viable commitment. So Kurt, as I'm now coaching you, let's make your minimum viable commitment. So as if your life depends on it, how much time can you dedicate to your, well, whatever it is you're doing, which is going to be guitar practice, how much time can you dedicate to your guitar practice, and can you type your minimum viable commitment in the chat, because then you're accountable for it, and you'll definitely do it then, if you can do that. No pressure though, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But let's get the minimum viable commitment down. How much time can you give to your practice every day without missing a day? Try and be realistic. I can get an hour before work. Cool. Okay, so you're sure you can do an hour before work every day? If you can't, that's fine. So that's now your MVC, minimum viable commitment. Can you give me a specific time of when this is going to start? So the trigger will be getting up, won't it? So a specific time that you've got to be there. We need to nail a time. Right, okay, I work a shift. Yeah, as long as that time doesn't shift and it's definitely like safe. So probably 11 a.m. Okay, so you're going to do an hour. 11 till 12 is your minimum viable commitment. And we can run that for a week and then see what happens and report in. Do remind me. So this time next week, if I'm on the live, which I should be, we will review that. The only other thing is, what I'll say is, when you do your session, make sure you finish your session when you're enjoying it. You know, don't end it when you've with frustration. Okay, that's the other thing. So if it means ending early and you feel that bit where it's getting frustrating, that's time to stop. Okay, don't try and push through that, because your brain, your subconscious will be like, I don't want to do that every morning, that's torture, and then you'll be less motivated to do it. So try. Okay, so the other thing that you need to think about, Kurt, as I'm coaching you, and this is the kind of thing that I do in the one-to-one coaching things, is I do want you to think very carefully about your skill to challenge ratio. This is very, very important. Csikszentmihalyi, can't pronounce his name, psychologist, states that I think it is between 4% out of your comfort zone. So when you do these practice sessions, be very mindful that you don't want to do something and over pitch it so it's overwhelming. Okay, if it's overwhelming, you will switch off and disengage from that and start noodling and messing about. So just bear in mind, I'm not sure how you're going to measure the 4 to 7%, but what it is, it's only a little bit out of your comfort zone. So bear that in mind. You know, you don't want to be completely out of your depth. Also, if you make it too easy, you will also disengage with boredom and feel like you are not progressing on guitar. So everybody, remember the skill to challenge ratio, 4 to 7%. Hi Killer Ben, finish exams in 2 weeks and I'm so excited to be able to play loads of guitar again. Excellent. Well, my daughter's doing A-levels at the minute, so are you doing A-levels, or are you doing GCSEs, or is it a degree? But my heart and sympathies go out to you, because I tell you what, exams are like, it's hard, it's a hard game, lots of revision, and I just, like, you know, my daughter's fighting away there, and it's inspiring to watch, but I also think, oh, it's like, you know, it's a hard life, isn't it? Right, that's good. So Rob does 20-minute sessions, have a break, then another 20-minute sessions normally works for me, and that's good. Yes, so they're good. Also, I'll do little micro practices. I haven't really thought about these for a while, but I was doing a lot of these. So what I would do is, when I do a live, whatever, sometimes there wasn't enough time before I would be leaving to go off and do what I was doing, like work or whatever, to actually look at what I was doing on the live, but I would remember things that I found difficult, and then come up with like little exercises for them. So that's really important. Another really good thing to bear in mind is doing the performance thing. So I honestly think that, well, I don't honestly think, I know that doing these streams, it's like a guitar laboratory for me, with me being the experiment, okay? Because and this is the same for creating music, okay? And this is very important, so I'm going to talk about this. That you have to remember there are two sets of emotions here. There's the emotions that what we think and feel about our performance, what we're actually doing at the time that we're doing it. Like, I'm playing this, like I'm doing this. You know, if you're having that, usually I'm in complete flow. But we'll have some idea when we're analytically thinking in the moment of what we're doing, and that can be quite self-critical, which isn't a great thing to have. But that can leave us with a sort of negative emotions about what we're doing and make us feel like we're struggling through a performance. So that's self one, which happens, and self two is where we want to be, because that's self two is where the limitless performance, and in other words, it's the subconscious, it's where you really enter the flow state, which is where you want to be. But so there's that set of emotions, right? But then you also have the important set of emotions, which is the emotion and the story and the narrative that you're trying to get over to the listener, and that's the hard data. So all of these sessions are recorded, and I can watch them back. So it doesn't matter what my thoughts and feelings are at the time. The evidence is recorded, and I can watch that back, and that's actually what happens. So whatever's happening there is hard data. It's fixed. It's not going to change. I'm not suddenly going to get worse on playing guitar or better. It's just great material data to work with to find out exactly where you are and exactly how you're going to improve, right? The problem with what we think we're doing and our thoughts and feelings is they're organic, they move over time. So what I think about myself now on this stream will be completely different if I remember a week later. So as artists, what we're thinking, and this is what I'm saying, at the time of doing it is highly unreliable. So we do need to have some sort of way of evidencing what we're doing. Or we beat ourselves up a lot of the time, that's the thing. So what I do is like I go back, I'd have a look at something, or maybe I might specifically remember something, and then I would come up with a tiny little exercise to work on that. I really quite like this at the minute. Now that might be my micro practice where there I'm just getting the legato even, and there's a hammer from nowhere and a hybrid, and then getting those two things to match up. And that might be it, and then putting that tiny little phrase in with other phrases that I already have existing. So that'll be the idea there. Now tell me in the chat if this has been helpful. I've probably gone off at tangents, but I think it was important to say, you know, I'm not here just to like pile in lots of views, even though I'm on a vertical stream. If I think something's important and there's somebody there who I would like to coach live and give some advice or knowledge out, then I'm quite happy to stop what I'm doing and do that, because I think it's important. I remember when I was coached, it changed my life, literally every part of it, for the best, positive. And I'll tell you, one of the things about the coaching thing is it's based on conditions of success, transferable skills. If we stick skills, right, the skill of playing guitar to one side, right, but then we think of like the soft skills based around that, you know, what are you developing here? You're developing, for Kurt, he's developing habits, right, how to build a positive habit. That's a very good skill, and a skill that can be applied to everything that you do in life. Okay, so your job, if you want to get promoted and stuff like that, you know, the skill of making a rock solid habit is going to make you, you know, more consistent in absolutely everything that you do. You learn about environment. There's another condition of success. Having the correct environment to do what you're doing, so it's super productive and you're not distracted. That might seem painfully obvious now I mention it, but how many people here just fill the rooms up with loads of pedals and crap that they don't need and then feel bad about not using them? I've been there and done it loads, you know, so all those things need stripping out, and you just need the things that you are going to use, because otherwise it's a background cognitive load in your head, and another thing that stops you doing from what you want to do. Let's think of the other ones. Decisions. So this is the big one, and also what I've touched on here, insight and analysis. A lot of the time we're analytically thinking, you know, which means a lot of self-want. We want to be in self-too. Analytical thinking is important, but shouldn't always be in the studio or at the performance at the time. It should be something that we use for review separately, which is what I was saying just before there. Insight is something that we have to learn to trust. Insight is very important, because a lot of the times we think, oh, that amazing idea came to me from nowhere, right? It must be a load of shite, so I'll not bother with it. Or you get the idea, you get excited, and then you come to doing the idea and that excitement isn't actually there, so you think, well, it was probably a bit crap. These are examples of insight. If you relate to this, please let me know in the chat. What else do we have? Boredom. We get bored. So how do we get over boredom? If you're, you know, playing the same thing, this is a big thing for musicians, or we're writing the same thing, or we're not happy with our style and we need to expand. How do we overcome boredom? What sort of ways can we get over that? Another condition of success to dial in, and another skill that is applicable to every area of your life. Okay, you know, like even if you're at work, how can you make boring things interesting? Fear, and we all have fear. Fear's the big one. Okay, now fear's not just like, I mean, the news, the world's like, you know, like, looks, it feels like, if you watch lots of news, right, it feels like the world's dropping to bits at the minute. It's just absolutely nuts what's going on. They're all, like, I flick it on, I just think, like, you know, we're being led by absolute crazy people here at the minute. They're just, like, destroying the place. What can I do? Not a lot. But what I can do is, like, turn up, do a good stream, make the people around me feel good, offer some useful advice, share some insight so people get identification with my struggles as an artist, and maybe that'll help the world rather than feeling bad about the world and things that I can't change, you know. Fear. So there's a fear around us. So how do we protect ourselves from this? Because fear is a complete drain on creativity. It will sap your ideas. I remember the terrorist bombing in France at that venue, right, back in 2015 or something like that. And I was at the height of, like, just churning tracks out and getting them signed, right? And I remember it killed my creativity. I was thinking about this horrible event because it was to do with music in the back of my mind. I thought, you know what? This is like, it's a layer of distortion I don't need, you know. And what can I do about it? I can't do anything. And the arseholes who've done that atrocity, right, have now stopped me being creative. So, you know, then that's when I started doing media bans, and don't feel bad about that, switching Facebook off or Instagram, right? As long as you're being creative, it's really, really important. So the fear, but then we have fear of the performance, and fear of the performance. I used to be terrible on these lives in every way possible. Every mistake I did myself, it was like a journey, and the only way around it is what we call graded exposure, is to keep doing that thing. So go live, go for 10 minutes if you're first starting out, get used to it, feel your confidence grow a bit, and build it up, you know. But there is a burn. That fear is a burn, and what you have to do is you have to embrace it. You have to understand where it's coming from. A lot of fear comes from uncertainty. Unfortunately, and I'm hoping that the majority of us who are on here are all artists in our own ways, okay? And the thing about art is you cannot predict the future. If you predict the future, you end up with boring design. So if you want to design, then, you know, there's a track. I know, then you can just design a track that sounds like exactly like Metallica. But if you're going to be yourself, right, and you're going to have your own voice, you've got to embrace uncertainty, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. So there's that fear of the unknown, and artists must embrace this. There is no way to take that pain away. It's easy to take unnecessary pain away from the process to get you there, but that uncertainty is something that we have to embrace, and trust me on this, make it your friend. See, I'm getting very passionate about this. Hope you're enjoying this. I got in England about a month ago, and it's definitely kept me motivated. Well, that's good. Gear is very motivational, and we can get that, but then we get bored of gear. So let's take it back a layer. We've got no gear, right, Kurt? What I'm talking about is flesh. I'm talking about the inner game. I'm talking about the mindset. Guitar, amp, computer. This is the outer game, right? This is using the tools, isn't it? Or how the tools help us. But specifically, conditions of success, this whole mindset shift, right, is something that cannot be taken away from us, that becomes us, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you've got an England amp or like a farty little kind of Walkman speaker, right? It doesn't matter. You're still the artist, you're still consistent, and you've still got a voice. And I would argue that even when you're playing through a farty little transistor radio or something, okay, that you sound like you've become an artist and you've transcended. So it doesn't matter what you do, who you play with, what instrument you turn your hand to, what improvisation you're doing, there's the DNA of your personal voice in there. So the inner game, that's how we're thinking. So that's good that you mentioned that, the amp, that amp, because that is out of game. So it's it's an important distinction to know when we're working on the outer game and the inner game. So I'm talking about inner game, and my speciality in coaching is inner game, not the outer game. You would think that it would be the outer game, the way that I play. And of course, there's a lot of outer game. But it's the inner game that I can honestly tell you that has given me the biggest shift. Because I can apply that to anything that I'm learning, and I learn things much quicker now. It's interesting, I've started doing one of my lectures almost. I used to do these. I don't know if anybody attended any of the lecturing series a few years ago in January. You can find them in past things where I kind of go. I think I spent one session on each condition of success. So it's probably important for you to go back. You know, if you get time, have a listen to them. Because I even did like a slide. They've even got slides. So yeah, there's a series of lectures. There's something like 30 of them in total that I did. It was a lot. All right, everybody. Any questions with that? Has anybody got any questions? Because I've said a lot of what I hold close to my heart, really important things. Anybody want to ask me anything? Anybody want to just say if it's been helpful? Or hasn't been helpful? So if you want more of this coaching and you think it's useful, do hit me up. Here's my email, right? Email is and if you want to come for a coaching session, I'll tell you the prices and stuff like that. It's not massively expensive. It's cheap. I give things away, right? Do inquire. Okay, there's the coaching group, there's one-to-one coaching. And if you really just want to have a guitar lesson, we could do that, but there's limited capacity. But what I would suggest is don't sit there struggling. If you can pay for somebody to help you, pay for it. I do that all the time. If I don't know something, I can't work it out myself, and I need the reassurance of being in the room with somebody else to guide me through it, I will do that. And it doesn't matter, and I'll do that to the day I die. You know, it doesn't matter how good you get. There's always somebody there that can help you. And that support, I think, is really important. All right, everybody. So I think that's about me done for today. I need to get ready. I've got a lot of more music to do, and I will see you on the next one, which won't be till next week because I've got a little project I've got to do. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jenna, for being the patron saint of this channel. Thanks, everybody, for the memberships. Congratulations, Donald, on his 4 months. Really appreciate it. And if you want to support this channel, please do become a member. It means a lot and it really, really helps. Thank you, and bye for now.